Am I the asshole for not telling my brother how much something was worth until he regifted it to me? I had a boomer great aunt that was a wonderful and loving woman. She just grew up in Eastern Europe right after World War II. One of the weird things about her was that she would give her old belongings as gifts for weddings and important birthdays. I still have the music box she gave me for my first communion. When we saw family, I would always ask to see their pieces. A few of my aunts had them displayed in a china cabinet or out somewhere safe. A few had them collecting dust in a box. I made sure they knew that if the day ever came that they wanted to downsize or something, I would appreciate a chance to grab it for my collection. Some of my cousins took me up on the offer and I ended up with 6 extra pieces for my room. When I moved out, I made sure that every single part of my collection was safely wrapped and packed. They are my little treasures. I know it's weird. Sorry for being so long-winded. I just love talking about that stuff. I'm about 15 years younger than my eldest brother and he knows about my collection. When he got married I was 14. At his gift opening I saw he got one of her usual gifts. I also saw his wife's face. She was not super grateful. I made sure he knew that I thought it was beautiful, but I didn't ask him to think of me if he wanted to get rid of it. I thought he might like to pass it on to his kid one day. When my aunt passed away she left me the last of her collection. 3 pieces that were a set. I got married last September. My niece, his daughter, was my flower girl. At my gift opening I could almost hear him giggle when I opened my gift from them. It was the piece from our great aunt. He thought it was super funny. Then he gave us our real gift from our registry. I thanked him profusely for both. He came over the other day and saw my collection in my china cabinet I inherited. He asked me why I was so fascinated with this stuff. I told him that I thought it was amazing and that lots of people collected it. He called bullshit and started looking it up. The figurine he gave me is worth about $6,700. He said that I was a dick for not telling him what it was worth. He wants it back. I said that my husband and I were going to give back every piece I got from family as a gift for a special occasion. I already planned to give that piece to my niece for her first communion. Along with a little booklet of information about my aunt and the value of the piece so they appreciated it. I know exactly who I got each piece from. And they are all going back to that family. He says I'm being mean accepting a gift from him that is worth so much. I asked him if he ever bothered looking up the value of what he was giving me. He said he thought it was like precious moments or Hummel. Whatever. I have family treasures to keep safe for the next generation. I know I would have gotten something awesome from my great aunt if she hadn't passed away before my wedding. Not the asshole. He only wanted it when he found out it has monetary value. You want it for its sentimental value and to pass on to his daughter? Very sweet of you, really. Not the asshole. You are doing something so thoughtful for your family, maintaining some of your history to pass down to the next generation. Your brother is a bit of an asshole asking for a gift back. But seriously, your great aunt would love that you cherish her gifts like this. Why is it so damn dusty in here? But be safe giving it to your niece on her first communion, since your brother can still take it from her and cash it in and use the money for his own desires. Assuming that's what he wants to do based on his reaction. Not the asshole. He thought it was funny gifting it to you, but he's not laughing now. You didn't ask for it. He assumed it had no value, monetary or emotionally. He was wrong about both, and only realizes his mistake about one now. Big not the asshole. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to continue doing my laundry if she wants me to buy groceries? My girlfriend, 28F, and I, 32M, have been living together for 4 years now. She works from home since COVID most of the time, but sometimes does go into the office. I go to my office every day. My girlfriend has always done our laundry together and never had a problem with it for all these years. Since she works from home, she takes care of a lot of the housework, but I do help out where I can when I get back from work, although she often refuses my offers with reasons like I should wash my hands better. I do wash my hands though. Lately she has started separating my undergarments and vests from the laundry pile and not washing them when she had no trouble doing that in the past. She that my undergarments would contaminate her clothes and wants me to do them myself in a separate load. Yet she still washes hers in the same load. I suggested we do all our undergarments in a different load and she said no because hers are cleaner and that would be worse. She got pretty mad and made some nasty comments about my hygiene, saying I should keep myself cleaner in my privates. Not soil myself. I do not, and learn how to wash my hands. I do shower and I do wash my hands, but maybe it is natural that men smell more IDK. I am getting pretty annoyed at being treated like I am disgusting when I am not. I lived with my mom before her who did my laundry and never said my boxers were dirty. I said if she keeps doing this, I will stop buying the groceries she keeps telling me to bring on my commute from work and she can do that herself. Edit. Okay, point taken. I will take her advice about hygiene and shave, wax down there and see a doctor in case I have some condition. And apologize to her. I lived with my mom before and she did my laundry. I'm hairy there and have streaks in my underwear. You are the asshole. I literally cannot believe I've found a real live. Men don't wash their ass but want their girlfriend to be their mommy, meme, right before my eyes. At 32 years old, every part of your relationship should not be transactional. For that, you are the asshole. Grow up. It sounds like your undies are nastier than you're admitting. You are the asshole, come on. If your crusty underwear is dirty enough to contaminate the outerwear, then you have a problem. Book a doctor's appointment to make sure you don't have some random infection, but most likely it is a poor hygiene issue. Your girlfriend is probably sick of getting a UTI every time she has sex with you. Your mom not saying anything is meaningless in this context. I bet she didn't say anything about your nappies as a baby or your bedsheets and special sock when you hit puberty either. Your girlfriend is your partner, not your mom. You are the asshole. Your girlfriend is your partner, not your mom. You are the asshole. She is not alive and made, and your drawers are not her job. Your girlfriend is your partner, not your mom. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for arguing with my wife and refusing to fire the nanny? I, M30s, live with my wife, F30s. We both work full-time jobs and have 3 kids, ages 3, 6 and 7. I used to work from home with flexible hours, but I've been offered a promotion which requires me to go to work in person. The pay increase is really significant, so my wife and I agreed I should take the promotion and hire a part-time nanny for our kids. I got in touch with a nanny agency and they matched us to someone who lives local. They only told us her first name, which was a really common name anyway, but for the sake of storytelling we'll say her name Sarah. I spoke to Sarah on the phone and she seemed really nice. We arranged a day for her to come over and meet my wife and the kids and for us to show her around the house. When the day came around and we met her, it turned out that my wife already knew Sarah. It was really awkward. I wasn't sure how they knew each other until afterwards. My wife told me that back when she was in high school, her boyfriend at the time cheated on her with Sarah, who was in her class. She wasn't enthusiastic about it, but my wife didn't seem to have a problem with Sarah being our nanny at first. Our kids love her, she has lots of experience and she's available when we need her. After a couple of weeks with pretty much no issues, my 2 oldest kids come to me and say that they don't want Sarah to come back. I ask them why and they said she's evil. I ask why they think she's evil and our 6-year-old starts crying and says that Sarah is mean and wants to hurt mommy. I talked to my wife in private and at first she said she had no idea what the kids were talking about and that it must be because of something Sarah did. When I pressed it, my wife admitted that she told the kids that Sarah is evil. She said she knows it was a ridiculous plan but she was hoping I'd fire her. My wife asked me to fire the nanny because their history makes her uncomfortable. I asked why it wasn't an issue before. My wife said she just needed to think about it and she's decided Sarah has to go. I told my wife that we can find another nanny, but until then there's no reason to get rid of Sarah, and that she was out of line for trying to weaponize the kids against her when Sarah is no danger to them. My wife disagreed and said that we need to just fire Sarah ASAP and hire a temporary babysitter until we can find another nanny. She said that she wasn't weaponizing the kids, she was just setting boundaries. This turned into a really heated argument and I called my wife insecure and controlling, and told her she needs to go to therapy. My wife said I'm being inconsiderate of her feelings and need to put myself in her shoes. This was one of our biggest arguments in a very long time and I just want a neutral opinion on whether I was wrong. Your wife shouldn't be talking shit about Sarah to your kids, but you also shouldn't be insisting that Sarah remain hired. There are plenty of other people who I'm sure would be equally as nice and fun as Sarah, with the added bonus that this one won't have painful beef with your wife. Your wife got cheated on by her ex with the woman who is in your lives and in your kids' lives. The sensible thing to do would have been say right away, okay, we'll find someone else. You are being inconsiderate of her feelings. That makes you an asshole. Your wife should never have used your kids the way she did. That was beyond the pale. That make her an asshole. All in all, it means you all suck. Esh. She went about that in an ass-backwards immature way, but ultimately she gets a say in who watches the children. She should have just been honest and vetoed Sarah from the start. Not the asshole, and her behavior disturbs me. I can't imagine causing my children to fear their safety or their mother's safety because of my own insecurities from high school. I mean, the manipulation and abusive behavior is disturbing. If the truth is not corrected for those kids, they could end up believing daddy hired an evil person to get rid of mommy. I think firing because of the wife's behavior and issues could lead to legal ramifications, slander and wrongful termination. Esh. You wife isn't an asshole for not wanting Sarah to continue. However, she is an asshole for involving and manipulating the kids. She just should have told you how she felt directly. Both you and your wife need to be comfortable with the nanny. Your wife is not, so the nanny needs to go. Am I the asshole for not sending money in for my kids' class pizza party? My kids' class is having a pizza party today, and for the last week her teacher has been asking for parents to send in $5 for it. My kid has disordered eating due to mental health issues I won't be getting into. She is currently in therapy for this and other issues. So she doesn't like pizza. She will eat breadsticks sometimes, but only if it is a specific, special order, kind from a specific restaurant. They are not ordering from this specific restaurant, and I would not request for the teacher to have them make it to my kid's liking. That'd be rude and selfish. On top of that, my kid is lactose intolerant, so eating pizza would give her a tummy ache anyways. I explained all this to her teacher in an email, stating I wouldn't be sending in money because my kid won't eat pizza. I made sure to pack my kid a lunch, which is what I do every day considering her disordered eating. Her teacher replied saying that sending in money wasn't an option, but that if my kid didn't want to eat pizza she didn't have to. I'm not sending money in for a pizza party my kid can't participate in. Sure, $5 isn't a lot, but when you're poor AF, it's not nothing. Does this make me not the asshole? As a mother of a elementary school-aged child, I would actually go to someone higher up and ask what the deal is with this. Explain the situation again, just like you did, and ask why this isn't an optional thing. You never know what other parents are being bullied into paying this money as well. Not the asshole. This isn't money for her school lunch. This is money for a special event she isn't participating in. I had a similar issue with a teacher last year and she took it out on my kid later. So even though you are not the asshole, I guess be aware. Disappointed. Yeah. No. If the teacher insists you pay $5 for something your kid can't and won't participate in, escalate. Complain to the principal. Not the asshole. I've always hated this in some schools. If she isn't going on the field trip she isn't expected to pay, so why be expected to pay for a party she won't be taking part of? It's ridiculous. Emo. Not the asshole. This is a practice in schools that needs to change. Not the asshole. Not an option? What exactly is the teacher going to do if you don't send it in?